Welcome to AllGen Academy. So today we're going to talk about another consideration in financial freedom, and the term is longevity. Okay, so longevity meaning how long you're going to live or how long you're going to spend in financial freedom. Now, no one knows the question how long you're going to live, but the possibility or consideration of longevity in financial freedom has to be considered when making calculations of how much to accumulate and other things that we're going to talk about in future lessons. So if you've done planning with AllGen, I'm going to refer to the trail map. In the formation stage, it's that second line item, as you see here circled. Okay, it's years needed to fund through age. We're using 95 in this example, okay? If you have a history of people that are centennials, great, we'll use a longer number, but we just use 95. Life expectancy as of today is not 95, okay? But we prefer to err on the side of caution and plan for longer, okay? So what does longevity mean? How long am I going to live is one factor, and then what is the age when I pull the trigger, okay, for financial freedom? It's that length of time that you plan to be in financial freedom and start living off income and assets, okay? So it impacts your ability to maintain desired lifestyle over time without running out of money. Obviously, the longer this period, the more you either need income or assets or a combination thereof to be able to live, okay? Typically means more savings needed. This was not the case, you know, a century or two ago when, you know, you had the Black Plague and life expectancy was a lot shorter. But as we start living longer and technological breakthroughs happen to help us live longer, the flip side is we have to save more or accumulate more to be able to live.
So back in the day, back in the day when Social Security was invented, even the life expectancy was around 65. So now, if we kind of look here at the this next chart here, if you look at it, life expectancy, male versus female versus joint. So this blue line here would show you, this 50% line means if you make it to age 65, which is around the time that most people kind of retire, then the chances of you living to 81, 82 are about 50%.
If you're a male.
If you're a male, right. If you're a female, it's about 85, 86 years old.
Means you have a 50% chance of living that long.
Yeah, exactly, which means that's what the average female lives to, and that's what the average male lives to. Now, if you're married, there's a 50% chance that one of you is going to live to almost 90. So, a lot of people don't think about that when they retire at 60, 65. You're having to plan for 25 or 30 years of income coming from all the various sources.
Now, please understand that the point of this chart is not to go advise you to get married if you're not, okay? And especially in retirement, because you may not be the one that actually makes it to 90, okay? But just to understand that, in general, we have to plan for, if people are retiring, okay, at around 65, okay, that's, again, 20 years on average that you're going to need income. Okay, so what does that mean? We talked about in the quantifying your lifestyle. If people want $100,000 a year in retirement for 20 years, okay, that's $2 million that they're going to spend. Okay,
at least.
Okay, not to scare you, but the importance of one, quantifying. Please refer to that lesson. But two, part of the quantifying is how long, having a number to add to the quantification. Okay, so that being said, you should, as you plan for a longer lifespan, okay, ways to plan for that is one, save more for retirement. Okay, spending conservatively. So again, either as you get there, you save more. When you get there, spend less. Okay, so it doesn't deplete as quickly. Okay. Or as you're getting there and while you're there, both, you invest in a portfolio that at least keeps up with inflation, if not exceeds it, depending on your risk tolerance. Potentially increase reliable income streams. And I say that, we're going to talk about an income stream lesson, okay? But Social Security benefits and pensions and how that's calculated. Plan ahead for long-term care. So when we say spend more conservatively, as we look at the expenditures, and we looked at this in the inflation lesson, okay, what are the typical expenditures in financial freedom? One of them is healthcare costs, okay? As America ages, what happens when I'm 75 years old? Well, my kids will take care of me. Now, a lot of people don't have that philosophy. So am I going to need a live-in nurse or a daily nurse to come over? In-home health care, as it's called, or a long-term care facility. So plan this ahead of time and account for that when you're planning and budgeting for future expenses.
That's right. A lot of people have dealt with family members who've had dementia, have Alzheimer's, and it can be an expensive part of your life.
That's right.
In fact, a lot of times, some of your largest spending years on healthcare are the last couple years.
That's exactly right.
So it's important to be prepared for that.
That's exactly right. And then another element that you'll see in terms of income and retirement is some people actually working during their retirement years. They shift gears and they retire from their job, but then they realize, hey, one, I'm bored, or two, I need more money, or a combination, and they either work part-time, full-time, or do something to create extra income during those years.
Yeah, and sometimes people have this stigma that, oh no, I don't want to have to work during retirement. And we're trying to encourage people not to think about it from that standpoint. It's not a have to work; it's a choose to work. It's something you love. If you love golf, maybe you work in retirement. You work at a golf facility. Or whatever it is. If it's arts and crafts, you work at a place like that. But it's a way to get a little extra income, and at the same time, it can extend your. You can enjoy it and you can be fulfilled by it, but at the same time, it helps you for the longer lifespan and longevity. Now, what's important to remember about all of this, in an ideal scenario, you don't want to get into financial freedom and have to cut back and spend more conservatively.
Right.
That's what you could do if you haven't planned properly, but ideally, you plan properly.
Right.
You plan ahead for all of these things, and you have a really good plan of how much you're going to need to last, and you have to kind of project longer than you think you may live. So
that's why financial planning, investment planning is so critical, and I talk about as you get there and when you get there. And it's a boring conversation. It's, oh, you want me to think 20 years ahead?
Yep.
I don't want you to think, but you need to think that long. So yes, enjoy life today, make the most of it today, but just in case you live very long, you should plan a little bit for tomorrow, and the sooner you do it, the easier it is.
That's right.
Okay. So when we know that, the goal, by considering your longevity and planning accordingly, so you can enjoy a fulfilling life in financial freedom. When you get older, your health starts going down. That's just nature. Okay. So stress does not help that. Okay. And we've seen it. I've seen it with so many clients. So if we can, take the bull by the horns at a younger age, plan for it so that we don't have the typical stress, which is financial stress.
Yeah, that fear of running out of money.
That fear, that's huge. That can help you have a healthier, aka longer financial freedom stage in life. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So take into account, the sooner the better, and we hope this helps you in starting to think about the longevity issue in your life. Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you soon.